Barney is what Figment wishes he was, okay?
Oh.
He will never capture the imagination of the children. He is a dying relic of the past, and he needs to be replaced.
Oh, yeah.
There's something about that awoke a sleeper agent in me, and that was crazy. Okay.
Sup, Park Peeps? I'm Demi from Magical Hijinks.
And I'm entertainment journalist Joey Nolfi, strapping in for the Park Peeps Podcast, the ultimate theme park show where unhinged passion, travel expertise, and coaster nerd chaos collide.
And this week, we're putting Figment on trial in the trials of Figment. So buckle up and pull up on that yellow strap as we dispatch for Season 2 of the Park Peeps Podcast.
I know him as my favorite little guy.
It's magic. Magic of the mind. The kind that lets you go anywhere, anytime.
Some are lightly familiar with his icon status as the face of every farts, while many call him the most polarizing character in Disney Parks history. Even the most casual and disinterested of Disney Parks goers might know him as, hey, that purple thing in that lame ride.
Gee, golly, and double gosh.
And some know him as a criminal terror.
You said it, Doc. Imagination is a blast.
What are you kidding me? I mean, what are you, ridiculous?
Yes, thank you, presiding legal goddess and very special guest Judge Judy, and also hello to our audience and welcome back to Park Peeps. We are gathered here today inside the Reedy Creek Courthouse in Orlando, Florida, where Park Peeps Pod has officially launched its new Legal Matters wing, and today we will be covering and perhaps participating in a landmark case in a courtroom drama breaking down the legacy, impact, potential criminal status of a Disney icon. Now we will welcome a panel of Figment devotees and also haters to use a set of criteria to determine Figment's status as either a beloved icon or a purple menace. We are calling it The Trials of Figment.
Court reporter and stenographer Demi here, and I have been issued a legal note mandating that all listening to this episode and its legal proceedings contained within must be subscribed to Park Peeps wherever they listen podcasts. Give us the highest rating possible and leave a comment, as well as following us at Park Peeps Pod, at Joey Nolfi, and at Magical Hijinks. That's HIJINX, so we can legally continue with this pod. Before legal counsel enters the room, we do have important exhibits to enter in the court pertaining to matters of 2-minute tea time. I have the floor this week after traveling to Orlando to visit EPCOT Flower and Garden Festival, and you can see the full video of me reviewing every single booth. Yes, every single booth with honest reviews, so you know what to get when you go to Flower and Garden on the Magical Hijinks YouTube channel. For now, before we get into the trials of Figment, I would like to enter into evidence a 2-minute tea time from opening day of this year's Flower and Garden Festival. Take it away, Demi of the past.
Sup, Park Peeps, it's Demi. It is 8:16 p.m. here at EPCOT, and I've been here since 9 a.m., and I'm exhausted, but we ate at every single booth as per normal. And for some reason, it took a long time today, but it was a really good day. This is not my favorite festival. I've been very vocal about that. I don't think that it has the best food. However, I do believe that they have stepped up their game and the food has gotten a lot better. So even though I still think the other festivals might have better food, I think there's great options this year. Definitely my top, as I said in my video, which you should be watching on YouTube if you haven't, with all the food, is Trowel and Trellis. That new flatbread was unbelievable. The ribs were really good. Also, just like you can get like aged cheese charcuterie board at Beach Grub or Yacht Grub. It was Yacht Grub. Like you can't really beat that. I think that or the oysters in America. Wow. I mean, I think they're really stepping up their game for this. I mean, obviously the park is always beautiful for Flower and Garden. That's the best part. But I'm glad that we're seeing a shift in the food. And I'm really tired, but I feel good too, because also the one good thing about this festival food is it is about like fresh food, and you know, leans more healthy than especially like Food and Wine, which is like targeted toward like autumn food, where you're trying to feel comfort for the cold rather, to feel warm, even though it starts in August and it's 1 billion degrees, and they're like, here's some hot cheddar cheese soup. So I appreciate the fact that they really try to stick to the script here, and it really worked out. And I think this is probably the best flower and garden I have personally been doing. I've been covering these for 5-6 years now, which that's crazy to say. And good night.
Well, now that we are fed and watered in more ways than one, because I was not anticipating, I did not write in the script for Demi to do that voice, but she did, and I'm so thankful for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much, court stenographer Demi. Now, it is time to whet your appetite for legal and courtroom drama, as our jury is entering the chamber. Our legal experts and witnesses are also in the room, prepared to present their case. So buckle up, buttercups, because the trials of Figment are about to unfold in the court case of the century. Coming right up.
Somebody is peeing on my leg and telling me it's raining.
Attention, attention, court is now in session, but before we begin the trials of Figment, entering evidence into court for Judge Judy to evaluate and use our criteria to deem Figment an icon or a theme park nuisance, please rise for the playing of our national anthem.
With just a spark.
Joey, that's witness tampering.
No, my bad. Please do rise, though, for our partners in this courtroom endeavor, as we will fill out our joyful jury of theme park peers with two very special guests who will help us crack the case in the trials of Figment.
You know one of our guests from a very special episode of Park Peeps last year, and joining her is a first-time peep whose fabulous style and affinity for theme parks and pop culture is as colorful as his eye-catching fashions.
Please welcome our special legal counsel, Adriana Redding and Jeremy the T.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Everybody's scared into silence for the trials of Figment episode. Everybody's being very proper and demure, and it's just
very intense. It's like I'm actually in the courtroom right now.
I don't want to do anything wrong.
No. You could never. I mean, with the looks that you have been serving, no, you could never do wrong. And everybody showed up, with their very best heads on their shoulders today. We are here. We are legal minded. We are going to be very grounded and not crazy at all in this episode, right?
Grounded is actually the word that I like to use the most when talking about Figment. I think it's very fitting for him.
Yeah, no, I actually do. And it's very important that we had you here for this, because Adriana, of course, is our hater. And so Adriana had to be, that was the thing that stuck out to me so much in our episode that we did last year, was Adriana broke my heart and said that she was a Figment hater. And I got this whole thing in my mind thinking, where I was like, wouldn't this be a great courtroom drama to bring in a panel of people who are neutral about Figment like Demi, two people who love Figment like me and Jeremy, and then someone who absolutely hates Figment like Adriana. So that's
certified Figment hater.
Proud of it. And I remember that right before we got on this recording, I did also do witness tampering again, because I stood up and I'm wearing the shirt that everybody says is the scary ugly, and Adriana actually screamed before yes.
I hate that shirt.
It's horrible. And as the neutral party, I am 100%. It is horrifying. It is like a picture of the original Figment, where it's not like the cartoon version of him with his yellow shot eyes, because they're not bloodshot, but it's creepy.
Listen, I'm not the one on trial here, okay? Well, I'm not.
Your shirt is.
My shirt might be on trial, but I am not. But I just want to say, before the first evidence I want to enter into the courtroom is, Jeremy, Adriana, what kind of projects are you all working on? What should everybody be checking out for on your pages?
Well, for me, Bippity Boppity Broke on Instagram and on YouTube. I do a lot of food and experience content on both. And I am looking forward to, I'm going on a cruise in 2 days.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. Where?
Gosh.
I am going on an MSC cruise. It's the MSC Seashore out of Port Canaveral. It'll be my first time sailing with them, so it'll be a cruise first for me. And I'm very excited to see. It's a budget friendly cruise, so we will really put it to the test.
Jeremy, what do you have coming up?
It is me, Jamie the T, on quite literally everything. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And March is actually incredibly busy. MegaCon Orlando is about to be happening.
Yeah.
I'm debuting 3 brand new cosplays for the weekend, which I need to start working on this week. And then the day after MegaCon ends, I'm going on the Disney Destiny for the first time ever. So lots of really fun outfits coming, lots of fun reviews. That Hercules cruise ship show is going to hate to see me coming because I've already had a lot of opinions about those costumes, but now I'm going to get a full review of the show. So lots of really fun stuff coming up, and I cannot wait to share it with everyone.
Love it.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. I'm so excited to see your outfits.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Well, the gavel is banging, everyone.
It is.
Judge Judy is ushering us into our seats. We'll now be seated as they bring out Figment in to hear the proceedings.
Gee, golly, and double gosh.
Now, this is how this is going to work. We have brought in our guests who represent both sides of the Figment debate. Adriana is famously a Figment hater, as I've said 900 times now, and I have been told by many that Jeremy is a Figment stan just like me. So we are now going to use 5 different criteria to evaluate Figment and make a determination on whether or not he is a menace or a harmless park legend worth being on the same level as Mickey Mouse. So let the proceedings proceed. So these are the criteria that we are going to judge Figment on, and they are going to get a score of either imagine, which is a pass, or indict, which is a fail. So the 5 criteria are: 1, overall visual presentation and character design; 2, quality of representation in the parks from experiences to rides; 3, humanitarianism and philanthropic efforts of Figment; 4, quality of merchandise; and 5, future potential. So, as a pre-statement before the court proceedings, I'm trying to use every legal term that I know and I don't. It's my first tort is going to be, I don't know if that's real or not. I just heard it in a movie once.
A tort something you eat?
Well, you know what? I'm about to eat this opening statement. So, here we go. Figment, as you well know, is the adorable, lovable, completely innocent, sweet, loving, kind, incredibly adorable, and inoffensive mascot of the Imagination Pavilion at EPCOT inside the Walt Disney World Resort. After original concept art showed him in his earliest forms as a more conventional green dragon under the creative direction of legendary Disney Imagineer Tony Baxter, who is also responsible for Big Thunder Mountain, Star Tours, Splash Mountain, so many more, Figment morphed into the tiny purple figment of the Dreamfinder's imagination. And you will all know from watching YouTube videos in history that the Dreamfinder is like a wizard professor-like person who used to be inside this ride before Eric Idle. But in the first iteration of the ride that opened in March 1983, roughly 6 months after EPCOT opened in October of 1982, Figment's story ran from 1983 to 1998, and it took guests on a journey through the mind, soundtracked by the iconic and enduring One Little Spark song by the Sherman Brothers. In this version of the attraction, the Dreamfinder would ride on his flying machine to spark the imagination of riders by showing off his collections to inspire new ideas in the minds of guests. He conjured Figment through song and sang him into existence, right down to naming his color in the song. Figment would then pop out of the back of the Dreamfinder's machine, and riders would embark on a truly trippy journey. And I advise you all, if you haven't, to go back and watch videos of the original version of the ride. It is absolutely insane. But after several modifications, after the late 90s and in the early aughts, and the introduction of Eric Idle as Dr. Nigel Canning, the current 24-year-old version of the ride is a far cry from the old EPCOT aesthetic of what the attraction once was, playing cheap gags on guest senses instead of pelting them with psychedelic, trippy imagery. Despite the low quality of the ride, Figment's popularity as a mascot for EPCOT has increased over the years, as he is now the patron saint and representative of the yearly Festival of the Arts. His merchandise continues to draw significant lines, including reported 6 to 7 hour wait times for a Figment popcorn bucket released in 2022. Adriana's shaking her head. There is also reportedly a Seth Rogen starring Figment feature-length film in development, various shorts, and a wealth of merchandise and food items offered at EPCOT all year round, including a character meet and greet. So, with that history said, let's move to our very first motion of evidentiary procedure in the trials of Figment. So, overall visual representation and character design. And I know Jeremy is waiting. Jeremy is just waiting to say something. So, Jeremy, is this little guy cute, horrific, or a combination of both in a non-derogatory way?
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Before I get into this, because I do have a lot to say about him. I think it should be said that a lot of the late 90s Disney things are a combination of both adorable and kind of creepy. And that is the camp whimsy of the 90s. And nowhere do you see camp and whimsy more expressed than 90s EPCOT specifically. And I feel like Figment truly embodied what that was all about. And he's kind of one of the last remaining things to come from that era of Disney Imagineering. As Joey said, the thing about his appearance and design too is that he is designed by the Dreamfinder. He is kind of a culmination of all the imaginary things that he has found over his travels, and he's compiled them all together into this lovable little mascot, little boy. And I also think it's cool because there aren't very many, I'd say, purple dragons in media that really come to mind. I mean, Spyro's kind of right there, but they're like cousins. So
Barney?
He's a dinosaur, Demi.
Oh, right.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Strike that from the record, Judge Judy.
Sorry.
Strike it from the record.
But he, because of his purple and orange color scheme, very iconic to him, you could probably put purple, orange, and yellow in front of a Disney fan and be like, what does this remind you of? And Figment will be the first thing that comes to mind. And I think that's just also in strong branding.
Yeah. No, I agree. I fully agree. I think that that's a really good point. And I think that, because at the time, obviously Spyro didn't come around until the 90s. Barney, I don't think, was around until the 90s. So, Figment did kind of corner the market on purple dragons. And we have him to thank for it. And Adriana, I would like you to have a chance to...
She took a full sip.
Yeah. Oh, she did. She's ready. She's ready. And now Jeremy is sipping as well. But I would like to give Adriana the floor to retuttle the retattle of the retittle of Jeremy's rebuttal.
Okay, so Figment's overall character design. First off, horrendous. Absolutely terrible. He's purple and orange. Those are opposite on the spectrum because they're supposed to catch your eye, but in the worst way possible, because who would ever put purple and orange together and be like, that's cute?
Tony Baxter? Tony Baxter.
This is debate. Okay.
Yeah, this is debate.
This got in. Whoa.
Yes.
Here I am.
Jeremy recoiled.
Over here. Here I am sitting here in my chair. Polite conversation. No, she said horrendous. I said, oh.
He offends me in so many different ways. As a kid who grew up in the 90s, and I'm glad you brought up Barney. Barney is what Figment wishes he was, okay?
Oh.
He will never capture the imagination of the children. He is a dying relic of the past, and he needs to be replaced.
I cannot breathe right now.
Whoa. Okay.
Listen.
So those were intense, very fighting words.
Yes.
That was, hey.
Jeremy, you have the floor.
Something about that awoke a sleeper agent in me, and that was crazy. Okay. Hold on. Dying relic of the past. Mind you, we see him in every festival of the arts now. He's getting his own movie. He's on all of the merchandise every single year. And Universal lost their Barney attraction.
Oh,
you know what,
Jeremy? You know what, Adriana? You can't even. Jeremy just kind of wiped the floor with that one.
Sorry.
Wow,
I know that's a later argument, but we brought it up now, so I had to get it in there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So,
but can I say as a neutral party though, who also I love Barney and I neutral Figment. One of Adriana's points was she feels like it's time to move on from Figment because it's like a product of its time, and Universal has done that and gotten rid of Barney, which I'm sad about. But they moved forward with DreamWorks Land. So I think that might be a point toward Adriana. Actually.
Demi, hold on. I'm getting
again a neutral. That's just a neutral opinion.
Demi, I'm getting a phone call from yes. Oh, Demi, you have a warrant out for your arrest. You have to be removed from the courtroom.
I said I'm neutral on Figment. I'm fine with him.
Bailiff, please remove Demi from the courtroom.
Now, while I will say, I do think I stand by my previous statement that he is a dying relic. I do understand the nostalgia that people feel around Disney. And there are certain things that I think are well connected and should stay, right? Carousel of Progress. That connects back to the World's Fair. That's one of Walt's favorites. It is a beloved ride. It should never leave the park.
Agreed.
I will fight for that all day long. However, Figment is not the ride itself, which we will get to that. The ride itself, no one actually rides it. It never has more than a 5-minute wait. You ride it because it's like people who drink Beverly. You do it for the kicks, but no one is actually.
You're putting me in Beverly. You're putting me in Beverly jail right now. That's crazy.
No one pulls up to the park like I can't wait to ride Figment.
You've never ridden Figment with me, then. I have.
The same.
Ride Figment with me, okay?
Jeremy and I feel like Jeremy and I need to. The next time I am down there, we're going to go on this ride.
Let me know. We need to ride Figment.
Yeah. We're going to take a video for Adriana and be like, this is how you ride Figment's ride.
Figment.
And it's because, it's just it's so fun and it's just so whimsical. And I have to say, if I didn't know, I think many people's problem with this is, well, you know what? No, I'll save that for the next one, because what I'm about to say is about the ride. But visual presentation, I will say, there are certain representations of Figment that I do not like. Like, there's the one where he's the one purple tie-dye shirt where he's kind of like jumping through that, it's like he's bursting through the thing. It's on a couple pins too. That more kind of cartoony style of Figment I don't really like as much. I like the scary shirt Figment. I think the animatronic more, because that I think is more connected to me to the old. It's in the vein of the classic iteration of the ride. And I think that it's stronger that way because it is more rooted in our world versus being this overtly crazy, fantastical thing. Because as I always like to say, and I've said, Demi, when we've talked in the past about that really powerful moment that always brings a tear to my eye when I see that one cast member dressed as Figment in the Figment costume going outside. You very rarely see Figment outside. And the way that he is just interacting and being like, I want to go over there. I want to go play with the flowers. I want to go see those butterflies, and like looking up at the sky. And it's like this bridge between the worlds that Figment has and our world is something that is so powerfully explored in that first iteration of the ride that is kind of lost in the second version. But that's why I like this version of Figment, because it is more grounded and it feels a little bit more real, even though it is coming from the world of whimsy. So I do think that it's still strong. I do think that the colors, like Jeremy was saying, like, I mean, the color itself is, it's an interesting eye-catching color, and you don't see a lot of people in this kind of lavendery shade of purple with this bright orange, and it's rife for, icon status. And I don't know. I think we're gonna have a really tough vote on this one. So I think we need to vote, though.
Well, hold on. I want to also just say this, like, because I have the complete opposite feeling. I think that, like right now I'm looking at, like, Jeremy is wearing the Figment crossbody fanny pack. And it's like, sometimes Figment's colors are like, the shade of Figment is not always like the same. Sometimes I feel like it's sometimes more like lavendery. Like what I'm looking at right now seems more lavendery, and it's really pretty with the orange, I think. But sometimes, like with my headband that I'm wearing right now, it's more dark.
Yeah.
And so there is inconsistency in Figment's coloring. I'm just saying there are.
I agree.
That's for small claims court. This is big claims court, Demi. That's inadmissible.
Even the word Figment on your shirt right now, Joey, is more of the darker purple. And I think he is technically more of the darker purple. And I actually think he works better when he is more of the lavender color. I think it's more vibrant. But also, like, the picture on your shirt, and whenever, you guys know when, and during Festival of the Arts, when you go into Figment's inspiration station at the Odyssey, and they have, like, the original Figment at the very top. Listen, I understand he was the original Figment, but he's got those like he looks like he's been hanging out with like I don't know, like somebody who's been having a good time somewhere.
It was the
like
90s. It's camp and whimsy combined.
Thank you.
The eyes are
camp
just
and whimsy,
horrible.
I get that, like, you feel like it's camp and whimsy, but to a lot of people that just translates to an acid trip. It very much feels like that. Like
that's the first version of the ride.
It's the first and the second version of the ride, because this whole second half of the ride, I'm like, I did some drugs that I don't want to do. Get me off.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't like being upside down?
Absolutely.
It's attraction. That's fine.
Yeah, come on. Or smelling a skunk.
God, no. That's literally the.
You know what?
Well, we will talk about that because I have a point to make with that exact part of the ride. We will get there.
We'll get there.
About that.
Before we vote, though, I do have to enter in one piece of evidence. I do have a supporting witness statement from our dear friend John of Gratuitous Theme Parks, who has submitted a piece of voice evidence that I will now play. Demi, we might have a couple of these from a few different people throughout this episode.
You didn't tell me about this? Are you kidding me?
Okay, no, this is all a surprise. Here we go. John this is John's evidence.
Okay, I will not tolerate any Figment hate whatsoever. You can hate the current version of his ride as much as you want. I get it. It's bad. It's not good at all. But the character itself, how can you hate that guy? He is everything that makes EPCOT great. He is about imagination. He is about creativity. He is what got me into theme parks in the first place. When I was a kid, I would go to EPCOT mostly because I wanted to see this little goofball. And I've been there through the original version of the ride, which was wonderful. It was my favorite ride growing up. And when they changed it originally, I was extremely devastated. They got rid of Figment. They got rid of everything that made the ride creative and fun and interesting, and replaced it with not the current version now, an even worse version. Now it's a little better. Figment's back at least, but yeah, it's just Nigel Channing and some animated little fucker that I don't recognize anymore. But Figment as a character, pretty good, pretty great. All right, bye.
So that is the closing argument of this first criteria, so I do believe we need to go
right, but he's talking about
vote.
what Figment represents, and we're talking about right now in category, we're talking about visual.
Well, yes, but there was no really other category to put that in, so I had to put it here. So that is the closing argument, and we are now going to go for a vote. Adriana, does Figment get an imagine or an indict for you on count one?
A quick sidebar, if it's allowed.
Yeah. Yes, it is allowed.
While I do love Gratuitous Theme Parks, he's a wonderful content creator. He is a certified internet theme park troll. So, I don't think that his ending statement can be taken as face value. Just look at the evidence on his page. All he does is troll theme park people. So, we don't know if he's trolling us right now.
You know what?
I would make a sidebar as someone who has been trolled by Gratuitous Theme Parks for +1 gate, which is something that I lived through while I was dressed as Figment of all characters. I need you to know that this is sincere. This voice note is sincere.
It is. It is very sincere.
I should know.
As someone who was present for +1 gate, I think I'll believe him.
Okay, we're voting it into evidence, so this can be used. So Adriana, that was a very great sidebar, though. That is approved by the court. So how are you voting here? Imagine or indict?
I am going to indict him. He's not cute.
And I am okay. Well, I am going to imagine him. Jeremy, I think you are also going to imagine him here, correct?
It's gonna be an imagine. It's gonna be an imagine. I'm just Look at him. Look at him. Also, I did not think we would be bringing up +1 gate in the podcast today, so that really made my whole day. That was wonderful.
+1 gate is the ultimate Disney memory. One day we may have to go through a whole podcast on that. Yeah. But that was a prime time of being a Disney content creator. It was wonderful. Okay, every day
So
we
I've
woke up
heard.
and ate it up.
Yes. You know what? I mean, we will maybe at some point get to that, but I think we need to close this case out. Demi, so we have 2 imagines, 1 indict. Where are we going with this?
I mean, as I said, I have some issues maybe with your shirt, Joey. But overall, I think Figment is very adorable, and I am going to give him an imagine.
Yay! Figment's
I want to be very clear here. I am not a Figment hater, and I am not a Figment lover. I am neutral, and so I would appreciate you stop assuming I have my opinions, Joseph.
This is great. So we've got 1 count on the docket for Imagine for Figment. Okay, so moving on to category number 2, quality of representation in the parks, from experiences to rides. We'll start with you, Adriana. Are the park's Figment experiences up to standard? Is the current iteration of Figment and his experiences offerings in the parks growing or diminishing based on his initial presence?
All right, Joey, I'm going to be quick and concise with this category. As I previously stated, no one pulls up to EPCOT except for a very select few of the 2 of you. Pulls up to EPCOT and says, I can't wait to ride Figment. No one thinks that. The ride never has more than a 5-minute wait. And when it says 5 minutes, it's just because they can't put 0 on the board. The amount of time it's going to take you to get to that ride is the longest it takes you to get through the queue. Okay? While I will say that Figment's merch sometimes is hit or miss. A lot of times it is misses. There are few hits. I will never say that popcorn bucket is not cute. It is very cute. I will not say that the popcorn bucket that was the ride wasn't cute with the rainbow popcorn inside.
Oh, that was so nice. I loved that.
That was my favorite popcorn bucket I had ever seen ever. However, the debacle that it caused when the first popcorn bucket came out was insane. I remember sitting at home thinking, no one would ever rope drop EPCOT for a popcorn bucket. Lo and behold, there were people waiting 3 hours wrapped around EPCOT, waiting for 3 to 5 hours, waiting for popcorn buckets, and Jeremy the T was one of them. It caused so much confusion. And it was just not. It was just not.
Yes, order in the courtroom, order in the courtroom.
This is misrepresentation. I was in college, I was in class, I was not at EPCOT that day.
I think there's video evidence that begs to differ.
I was not. I will pull up the receipts. I was in class reporting on all the tweets that were coming in about people waiting 5 plus hours. Look, I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy. Although there's an instance later where we'll talk about me being crazy about Figment, but we'll get there. We're not there yet.
Okay.
But I was not there. I did have a friend pick it up for me, though, because I was not doing that.
So you were technically there. You were technically there.
His mind was there. All of our...
Yeah.
Of course, it always is.
Right. So the imagination, right, Figment is supposed to be there to help us free our imaginations. Meanwhile, by your own admission, you should have been at school paying attention. I could have been at home doing something else. And meanwhile, we are on the internet looking at people act a fool over a popcorn bucket. And I just don't see how that's productive.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
My last point.
You finish.
Adriana, finish your points. Yes, finish your points. Yes.
My last point is, I think that while his meet and greet spot is very cute, it was only given as a gift to the Figment people because on the internet it seemed as if everybody really loved him, and that we only went to see. It took a year to get him. Everybody only went to see him for a week, and now you never see him, or people never even go to see him. So I just think that he is, like I said before, a dying breed. While some of his merch is cute, not all of it is, especially when they put him in sweaters. I hate that. Why does he need a sweater? He's a dragon. He breathes fire.
Cute.
What? No.
Evident rebuttal support. Who doesn't go see him?
Oh my gosh, Joey.
There's a picture of me.
Ew.
This is recent. I've seen him 3 times.
You
three
Four
times in
times.
this is 3 times in the past year I've seen him. So you know what? That's countering your evidentiary introduction, Adriana. But I will appreciate the valiant points being made in your court statement.
I need to hear Jeremy's
yes,
rebuttal.
Jeremy, what is your rebuttal?
And with that, I will rest my case. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I just before I begin, I just have to say, Adriana, that really got me together. That really got me together.
Yeah.
It did. Okay. I say to you all on this day, going back to the Figment popcorn bucket debacle, I was going to save this for later, but since you brought it up, the Figment popcorn bucket debacle, the cultural impact that had. Okay, because why? Yeah. Both sides of the coin, the Figment haters and the lovers, why were we all tuned in at once to watch all these people at EPCOT go crazy over a popcorn bucket? I'm certain, one, Disney was not prepared for it to go the way that the virality that it did. Because let me tell you something. When it comes to Figment merchandise, which we'll talk about it later also, when it comes to Figment merchandise, the only Figment merch we had for years was the shoulder plush. And when he came out, he sold out immediately. And I was one of the few people who had him. Only for this whole popcorn bucket thing to spur off an entire era of Figment merchandise, which we will talk about later, of course.
And resellers.
And
the resellers.
Too, unfortunately.
Marked up triple cost.
But it had us locked in. We were one unit. We were all tuned in. It was making national headlines. It was no longer theme park news. It was just news. Our Purple Dragon was news. He was headlines. That's culture. That's impact.
It is. No, it absolutely is. However.
But specifically moving on to his representation in the parks now, I would like to say, first of all, his attraction now, as has been stated, far cry from what it used to be.
Yeah.
She's got her problems. She's got her issues. She's been in need of a refurbishment. I will be the first to admit that. It is a D23 year. Imagineering, if you hear me now. If I'm not getting a Figment refurb this year, I'm walking out. Actually, no, I'm not. I need to sit and I need to watch what they announce. But Figment refurb, put it on the docket.
Yes.
However, I can't sit here and exist and just let him take the heat like this when he's being misrepresented in his current attraction. The Figment that we see today is not what he was meant to be. And honestly, I can't even blame him, because if I had to deal with Eric Idle every day who didn't even like me, I'm gassed him too. Like... It's just he was meant to be this like beacon of creativity and imagination and whimsy, and I think we lost the sauce there for a second. Because in the second iteration they took him out entirely. Figment was not there at all. And then we got him back in the third iteration. Yeah. But it was just meant to be this like beacon of creativity and imagination, which is what Imagineering was really pushing for toward the late 90s as we were getting ready to like open their new parks and such. And to see like him kind of regress into a former shell of himself for a bit there. Very disheartening. But I do think there's light at the end of the tunnel, because I do think they're starting to lean back into what he used to be. We just got the Not How to Draw episode with Figment, voiced by Neil Patrick Harris. And he's kind of leaning more back into like, it's kind of a combination of both. His like prankster, miscreant energy, along with his like whimsy and just very curious about everything. And honestly, I think we need more curiosity right now. I think people need a little more whimsy, a little more escapism. I mean, things are pretty rough right now. And people just kind of a reminder of, the good things.
Yes, absolutely. I think Figment was, but in the 2 iterations, I think, because the middle one we don't really count. But I think we don't really talk about her. But I think the initial one and the one that we have now, Figment's role is very different. I mean, he's very... It's almost like for this new version, they banked on the celebrity angle of Eric Idle being more interesting to people than this cute little adorable character they fell in love with for the prior 20 years. And it's like, that doesn't really work, because Figment, I don't think, works as a passive character in his own attraction. And that's kind of what he is. He's kind of there as the butt of a joke, and Figment's going to do the funny, like blasting you with a little scent smell kind of thing. And I don't think he works that way. I think that he works when the story is built around his existence. And using him as a segue into something bigger and to talk about the mind and the imagination. And he literally is a figment of the Dreamfinder's imagination. And that makes him more main character than crazy supporting character. And Jeremy, I do agree with you. I think that EPCOT is kind of going back to that in a very light way. I mean, especially as Demi, we talked about last year with Test Track 3.0. I mean, we're getting like Weird EPCOT is kind of coming back.
Classic
And like,
EPCOT.
classic EPCOT is kind of coming back. So I do see at some point in the future this changing.
I think that, you know, what you said was kind of right, where it's like, I think they kind of started relying on Eric Idle. And I think it's because I think they were really trying to lean into EPCOT being the adult park, which I think people automatically think of when you think of EPCOT. But EPCOT has so much for children as well. It's for everyone. It's for family, just like all of Disney. And I think they were trying to find a way to make it less like child friendly and more like, you know, something for the parents. So here's Monty Python's Eric Idle.
But
that's my thought.
Yeah. I think that the only thing I would counter that with is that I do, unfortunately, though, think that the ride itself kind of got dumbed down. I think that the ride was kind of infantilizing people because the first ride, there is an intellectual element to it. I mean, you go into it and you have to understand that this is a deep immersion into the furthest reaches of the human psyche, and it goes to some really crazy places. I mean, there's that whole cinema stuff at the end, and it's a pretty trippy, complex ride. And I think that this one that we have now is very superficial. It's I mean, how much more superficial can you get than the senses? I mean, it's literally the definition of superficial. It's on the surface. It's what we're experiencing. And so I do think that the ride is too infantilized for its own good right now.
I think there are some, again, Figment and the ride are two separate things.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the gavel is banging now, and we need to make a determination. So I'm going to go first. I'm actually going to indict Figment on this one. Okay. So, Adriana, what are you doing?
Indict.
Jeremy?
I do have to agree. His current attraction is very sad, and I do want him to have something that is more appreciative of what he has the potential to be and what he used to be. So I'm also going to indict him.
Oh my gosh.
100% agree what Jeremy just said. Indict.
Oh my god, that's a Figment. That's a
this isn't against him. This is against whatever they've got going on with and keeping him in this like weird attraction limbo that he's in currently.
Yeah. I will say though, Figment, that's
skunk at me. I don't care for it.
Alarming. A 4-count indictment on that one, Figment. So moving on to number 3. This one I anticipate will be pretty quick. But humanitarianism and philanthropic efforts of Figment. I would also like to enter in another statement from our dear friend Rafi Perez, who has also submitted a piece of evidence into the courtroom. I will now play it for us.
Greetings, Your Honor. I stand here in front of the court of law, in front of the judges, and everybody who hates Figment, aka you tasteless hoes. And I just wanted to say that I'm in full disbelief. I am disgusted, literally, and in just pure shock and horror of all the hate that Figment gets. How can you hate such a lovable creature, such an iconic, legendary creature that was originally made for one of the most original parks that Disney has ever made? Like, how dare you? And then if you would only know the impact that Figment has had on my life. And I still remember the first time I ever rode Figment 3 years ago. And I went through that ride, which was quite a chaotic trip. It kind of reminded me of a weekend that I had at the Eagle. But it was so unique and such an amazing moment. And I still remember when I went into that room and I was just in awe of seeing him. And then suddenly he looked at me and said, "Imagination is a blah!" And everything popped out and I lost my hearing for like what felt like 30 minutes. And I can't get over the fact of what I witnessed. I saw pure art. I saw the most beautiful masterpiece I have ever witnessed. Like, it was everything. And then I saw a talking moon with a horrible projection, but still, it's just the impact that ride has had on me. Woo! There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. I'm sorry. Like, I don't care. Figment is iconic. He deserves to be free. And I will not tolerate any slander. I will not tolerate it at all. Your Honor, judges, and all you tasteless hoes, I will not accept any Figment slander. I don't care. One little spark of inspiration.
That was poetic. That was Shakespearean.
Yeah.
Hang that in the Louvre. Like that was
Did
was
he
beautiful.
start singing at the end?
He did. Our national anthem. He did. And I want to thank Rafi for his bravery, for his fortitude, for his strength in raising awareness about Figment the same way that Figment clearly has raised awareness about hearing issues. And as someone who lives with a hearing damage, I can say that. I applaud you, Rafi, for bringing this issue to light. I don't believe there's any possible way that we can counter this with any evidence. Like, Adriana, unless you have evidence of Figment being like an economic terror.
I mean,
Adriana, do you have evidence to submit to the court?
That he is an economic terror?
This is humanitarianism and philanthropic efforts. Are you going to try to tell me that you think that Figment is not a humanitarian and philanthropic icon?
I mean, just the sheer amount of merch I'm looking at on this screen, he has definitely taken money out of you all's pockets that you could have spent on other things. But I also
think that not boosting the economy?
Thank you.
Boosting the merchandise economy.
Look, I have not seen a singular person purchase that Figment with the ugly Christmas sweater on, okay? So I'm pretty sure Disney made all that merch for no one.
Oh, the Christmas sweater you're talking about. The
ugly blue Christmas sweater that clashes with the orange and the purple.
We'll get to that.
I like his blue Christmas sweater. It has the Imagination Pavilion logo on, and I think it's cute.
I like it on him, but I don't like it in general. But we'll get to that in our next point. So, Adriana, you have introduced an interesting point against Figment's philanthropic and humanitarianism. However, I will counter that by saying, if, like Jeremy said, we are boosting the economy. However, the things that I am purchasing are charitably donating to my happiness in my life. So I will counter that and say that Jeremy and I are happy people because we have spent money boosting not only our local icons in Florida by purchasing this stuff, but we have also boosted our own serotonin levels.
Oh my God, can I submit some selfless evidence into the humanitarianism of Figment?
Yes.
Okay. This is getting me together so good today. Oh, thank God. He also has educational practices associated with him. He was part of EPCOT's educational initiative that they had. He had Language Arts Through Imagination, where he taught kids about reading and writing, which we need that more than ever now because apparently the kids can't read or write.
Library needs to be open. Open the library.
It's fundamental, and no one can do it anymore. So he's teaching the kids how to read and write. He's teaching, as Joey made a really good point earlier too, after we indicted him for his current attraction, the basis that he existed on fundamentally was to take a very abstract concept about the imagination and give us very concrete things to apply it to, with that being the arts, sciences, theater, film, the like. And so he managed to formulate a way for us to take something that we always think about and really wonder about, but gave it into a tangible way for both children and adults to understand, in a way for them to apply it to their everyday lives. And I think that is pretty philanthropic.
It is. No, Jeremy, that is wonderful evidence. And now, Adriana, I don't want to speak for you. However, I don't think you want to publicly stand against child literacy.
You know what?
Okay.
Reading and writing is important. But I just don't
But it's not that. But here, I'm going to help you out here because honestly, Jeremy was like swaying me for a minute but I'm just thinking about this though. Is he doing that currently?
I mean, it's part of his legacy.
But when was the last time you saw a kid field trip at EPCOT?
Wait, hold on, rewind. He is doing that currently because they just released a little golden book about him.
That's right. I was just going to say that.
So it's for the kids still. He's still teaching them.
I understand that.
And they just released a How Not to Draw, which is teaching kids about actual tangible arts.
And in 2026, we cannot be championing against the arts.
Isn't like philanthropic and humanitarianism like you still have to pay for these books? It's not like Disney's giving them out
Demi.
But that's not philanthropic.
Demi.
What is he giving
is
to
education
the children?
Not under the umbrella of humanitarianism?
I'm seriously like asking this is like I'm being super genuine here. Like would this actually be? Yes, he is teaching kids how to read, I guess, because he's in a book, but you have to be able to purchase that book in order to do that. So if you don't have the funds, like I was a PBS kid. So like I didn't have money for cable, so I watched PBS because it was free. It was publicly funded. Is Figment publicly funded? He isn't. So is that really technically philanthropic? Even though yes, he is doing a good service, you still have to purchase his service.
That is an amazing point.
He is also a theme park character that most people wouldn't know unless you purchased a ticket to the theme park.
Yeah,
correct. I didn't know about Figment until 2019.
Me too.
Well, while this evidence is not satisfactory to me personally, the court has advised me they will allow it. So this is a great point and an important point. However, I think it's time to vote. And I would just like to have closing arguments of saying, just remember Rafi's emotion. And I would ask the jury to remember Rafi. So
remember Rafi, like he's no longer here.
Remember Rafi. So I'm going to vote Imagine here. Jeremy, I know you're voting Imagine here.
I will also be voting Imagine here.
Adriana?
Indict. I don't see him bringing little poor children to EPCOT. He doesn't sponsor trips. That's the only thing that would have, saved it for me. So no, indict.
Okay, Adriana said children F kids who can't read. That's what you said.
Apparently. They said who needs imagination?
Right. Who needs books?
Listen. If Figment was giving away some books, if Figment was bringing kids to the Imagination Pavilion, like me who was an underprivileged kid, then yeah, maybe. But he isn't. And Rafi, as much as I loved your voice note and was laughing hysterically, indict.
My only counterpoint to that, though, is when was the last time you saw a Disney character do that just in general, in the current economy of the Disney parks?
Right, but none of them should get there. Be like, I mean, unless like they were doing, like the only character I can think of is like they have Mickey like do, like they'll like there was like the Wonderful World of Disney, like there was like there was like shows and Mickey's like on a lot of things and where you can view Mickey in free media. So that's one thing. I have never seen Figment in any free media.
Well, we're gonna have to. Okay. Well, we are now. I did not plan. The court did not anticipate for a tie. So we're gonna have to. Okay. We're gonna have to do a tiebreaker. I'm gonna flip the Figment head, and heads is Imagine, and tails is Indict. So we're gonna throw it, and I promise you, I will not lie. I truly am not gonna lie, because you won't be able to see it. But okay, here we go. It literally landed on its side, like this against something else. It went up against something. Okay, here we go. Oh. Figment, unfortunately, you are indicted on this start.
Figment, start giving out your books for free, honey.
Yeah.
Help the children.
I'm sorry, hon.
What about the children? Okay, so
I still love all the books, Figment.
Number 4, Okay, so I think we can also move through this one pretty quickly because we've talked a lot about the merch. However, I think we should just give closing arguments now on quality of merchandise because, as Jeremy and I are proof of right now, I'm literally presiding over court with my Figment paintbrush. I have the popcorn bucket, the new popcorn bucket here. I have the Squishmallow. I have a vintage 1982 Figment plush right here. I've got a little Figment plush here. I have pins. I have the bag. I think Figment merch is just the most fun merch to collect because it does still feel kind of like when you're out at what's the store in Springs, the one that's is it Disney Ever After, the one that has all the rare stuff, Adriana, so it's like when I walk in there and I see that there's like a Figment wall, I'm like, oh, because it's, Figment
it used to be Ever After jewelry, but now it like has all the stuff.
Right. But it's like when you see Figment stuff anywhere outside of EPCOT, you kind of get a rush because it's like, oh, this is, you don't see this everywhere. So I think that creates an element of anticipation around it. And I just like it. I love, clearly, I mean, the best shirt ever devised is this shirt right here.
False.
This is the best shirt in the history of Disney. And it's, okay, can we hear evidence as to why this is not the best shirt in the history?
Okay,
because
I just have to give my quick story about that Figment shirt and why it is explicitly offensive to me. While I have never been a Figment lover, I have always been a Figment tolerator. And much like most of the world right now, while it is not right, people don't enjoy things being thrust upon them, It's like, I live in my little corner. If that's what you like, don't bring it over here to me. And it was my birthday. It was Festival of the Arts this year. Yes, get it away. It was Festival of the Arts this year. I was trying to have myself a good time. I know there's going to be tons of Figment. He's the mascot of Festival of the Arts. And I had a friend, Betsy. She had a parka on because it was cold outside. And I went, oh, your parka looks so warm. And she lifted up her parka very quickly. And underneath was that gargoyle of Figment. That particular shirt.
Gargoyle.
And I went, get it away. It just,
oh my God.
I had never seen that shirt before. And it was also like 8:30 in the morning at EPCOT. And so no one wants to see Figment that early in the morning when you haven't had anything to drink, anything to eat. And you're in the cold and someone's like, look at my shirt. And you're like,
you did tell me this when it happened. I remember you did tell me this when it happened. So I'm both honored and horrified, but that's good that's a good witness statement. So yes, the court will take that into consideration. However, I love just weird, goofy stuff. Like there was do you remember that shirt they did a few years ago that was just that photograph of Mickey Mouse? It was like an actual photo that they plastered on the whole shirt.
I remember that shirt.
It's in the same vein as that to me, and I just love this goofy goofball image of him, and I do think it is weird. I think maybe the lettering is a little not to my taste, but if the shirt was just the picture of him, I think it would probably stylistically look a little bit better, but I love it. This is like my favorite shirt on earth. So I
remember how much you wanted that shirt when it came out and how you tried to get everybody to get it for you.
I have, anytime there's a Figment merch, I have forced so many people in my life who live in Orlando, Florida to procure things for me. Yes. Quincy, Jacqueline, Stephanie, and Lindsay, they literally everybody. So I love Figment merch. I mean, Jeremy clearly loves Figment merch. Jeremy has a very amazing fit on right now, and it just looks wonderful. The little fanny pack especially. I just think, Adriana, even though you don't like Figment, are you objectively able, and this is me seriously asking, not in a courtroom drama way, are you objectively able to think that the merch offerings are something, if it was a character you liked, does the Figment merch is it up to snuff for you?
Yeah, so I was gonna put this in my closing statement of while I am a certified Figment hater, and we could put that in quotation marks, I do think the quality of the merch that they give him is very cute. And even when it is Nightmare Fuel, example, the shirt that you have on right now, it still effectively does its job. And the job, because Figment, and this is not an argument for him, it is still against him, but Figment's job is to pique your imagination. He is an artist by trade, and the purpose of an artist is to evoke, to make you feel something. And so whether he makes me feel disgust or happiness, he is doing his job.
Yeah, that's a great closing statement, Adriana. I appreciate that. And I think with that, we should take it to a vote. So I'm obviously imagining here, Jeremy, clearly.
I have to imagine, like I said, as someone who was there when the only Figment merchandise we had was a shoulder plush, then to live through the popcorn bucket fiasco and see the renaissance of Figment merchandise that it has brought us since then, it has to be recognized that his quality of merch has gone up because his merchandise overall has simply gone up.
Yes. Adriana, how are you going to vote on this one?
I am going to say imagine, but make a note that there is a parentheses in there that says, but she still don't like it.
Noted for the court record. Demi, what are you voting?
Well, as someone who does not own one single piece of real Disney owned Figment merchandise, but it covers the festival every year and, it looks at all the merchandise, it is really good. It is really good. And I think about getting them and then I don't. So maybe next farts I shall pick one up and I will imagine Figment.
Yay, Figment. That is a 4-count imagine. Oh my gosh. Okay, so listen, we are really down to the wire here because on Figment's record, we have 2 imagines and 2 indicts. So it all comes down to this one. Yeah. I have a good feeling about this one though. So future potential. Do we think Figment's presence in pop culture and the parks will grow or diminish? And will his future endeavors improve his legacy or diminish them? So, we've already covered some of the things that are coming down the line, like the Seth Rogen film that is in development. They have said that there will be Figment shorts and other Figment media going out. I think they're realizing how popular he is. Jeremy, I believe you brought up the Neil Patrick Harris How Not to Draw, starring Figment. It was recently released, and he is the patron saint of the Festival of the Arts, which is a really popular, albeit short-lived festival. So
too short.
It is too
longer.
short.
I agree.
So
the best one.
I agree.
I think that the only thing I will say about this is that the other note we also touched on earlier was the fact that weird classic EPCOT is kind of coming back in some ways. I think they're pushing it there. And I do think that Josh D'Amaro is somebody who also kind of understands that bit of nostalgia versus just being so IP heavy. I do think that he understands the value of looking back into the nostalgic elements that made Disney into what it is today. So I will say this is a clear imagine from me just because Disney has to know that the popularity of this character, if they are putting money behind developing a film about him. So I imagine that his ride is going to improve and they're going to completely gut it and do something new in that space. So I think it's only a matter of time that his future potential is increased. So Adriana, we're going to go to you on this.
Okay. What future potential of I'm gonna fool all of my own plans right now, okay? While I do not like Figment, I never want to yuck anyone else's yum. I want to put this on record, all right? I came today to be a certified Figment hater, and my mind has not changed. But I do want to say, if he brings you joy, get all the Figment you want. I want in the future to see. I had never heard of this new film about Figment. I am waiting to see what it is like. Hopefully, it does not feel like an acid trip like his ride. I do think he needs better representation in the parks, and I don't know if maybe I just imagined this or if it was really real, but I do feel like long ago, there used to be field trips to EPCOT from different schools, and I don't see that anymore. Or if it does still happen, it isn't like you don't see them walking around in the parks with all of their matching t-shirts. And so I do feel like I want him to still be an educational vessel for the children. It should be PBS, but make it Disney. And, I want to see little kids from all around Orlando and other in impoverished areas being able to experience Disney and experience Figment, teaching them how to read and write and use their imagination. And so I do hope that Figment's future is bright.
Oh,
Very
that's
well
very
said.
nice. Yeah, very well said. Jeremy, what are your closing arguments in the future of Figment?
That was really wonderful, Adriana. I really liked that. That was really nice. I have to agree. I think his future is very, very bright. As someone who has lived through, I feel like the rise and fall and rise again of Figment, especially seeing what the public outcry was. Mind you, I didn't live through all of this, but just observed, and as a theme park fan for as long as I have been, and studying theme park history as long as I have been, to see the way that the public really didn't like the second iteration of his ride because he was no longer there, and how the compromise was to bring him back, and for that to be his only representation for a while, to then see what the popcorn bucket boom kind of brought to him, and now he has the legacy of being the patron saint of the best festival at EPCOT, Festival of the Arts, to now having all this merch behind him, having these shorts that are about surrounding him, being voiced by Disney legend Neil Patrick Harris now, having this film on the docket for what's to come, him also being spotted at Disney Imagineering last year or a couple years ago, which sparked a lot of rumors on if his ride was getting a refurbishment or not. It's very clear that his presence within Walt Disney World and EPCOT, and just I feel like the company in general, is only growing, and he's becoming more and more synonymous with EPCOT as a whole and as an entity. And so I have to assume and hope that his future has a lot of potential, and that they realize that with him and what they have. So yeah.
Brilliant. We're gonna snap for that. Yes. All right, Demi, bring us home.
I think, again, as someone who was introduced to Figment later in life and later in his career.
Demi geriatric era, later in life.
Well, I was 25. So
Demi's Twilight era.
I was 25 when I met Figment. I'll never forget. No, but I think there's a reason why I'm neutral on Figment, where it's he doesn't bother me like Adriana, but I'm not going to go to bat for him either, because I don't have this intense special connection to him. But I think I would eventually become one of those people if the storytelling was correct, if the storytelling brought me in. And I think that all has to do with, updating the ride, making it more Figment centric, creating more, the movie and any type of more content about Figment to really get me to care about him. Cause at this point in time, that's where I'm at. I don't fully care. Not that I don't care at all about him, but I don't I care about Mickey Mouse. I see him and I cry every time. I love the little mouse so much, right? And because I've been watching him my whole life in so many different ways. And I think that's why I don't have that connection. And I think if they gave us a really great ride and did more storytelling with him, I would really fall in love with Figment. And I believe that they know that there's so many people that are already there, and it's already so hard to create IP. You have this existing IP that is so you don't really see that this much anymore, where you have something that was built for a theme park IP that has blown up in such a great way. And I think it's really unique and special. And I think that they do realize that because of how much merch we're seeing and how much they are trying to push Figment more. So I do see a really great future with Figment. And I think I can't wait to finally fall in love with the character like everybody else does. I mean, I hope, as long as he stops throwing skunk at me.
That I can agree with. However,
what?
Okay. However, it's just coffee. So you like coffee, don't you?
I love coffee.
Coffee. Demi just doesn't like coffee out of context. We'll put that in the side note in the legal notes. Okay. So final vote. I'm imagining Jeremy.
I also will be imagining.
Demi.
I'm imagining.
Adriana.
Oh.
For the sake of not being anti, imagine.
We have vindicated Figment. Figment is officially imagined. Yay! Figment, you are free to go. Figment, you are free to be the icon that you are. You are free to continue in your subpar ride until Josh tomorrow makes it better. So,
please, Josh, tomorrow.
Please make it better.
And Joey, as a certified Figment lover, I want to say thank you for hearing me out. And my gift to you, please let me know the next time you are in town. I have a Figment figurine that is, I got it Destination D23 year before last. It was one of my gifts, and I have it sitting in my storage unit because that man is not allowed in my house. But I have been waiting to give it to a Figment lover. So please let me know next time you're in town. I will bring it to you.
Adriana, thank you so much. That is very kind of you. I really just he's not allowed in your house, but he is allowed in mine, and that is, I will give him a good home. Adriana, that is very, very, very sweet of you. Thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. So, as does your presence. You've now done 2 episodes with us. Jeremy, what a great inaugural episode that you did with us. This was so much fun.
Thank you so much.
Both of your perspectives just so valuable, and just so I just love both of your content, and I just, I want to point people one more time to please go follow everything that they are doing on their pages. It's really great stuff, and it will make everybody really, truly very happy, just like this episode has made me. So
yeah, this was just like the most fun ever. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Yes,
doing this.
yes. Now, what a ride, what a landmark legal case, and most importantly, what a journey into fear, trauma, horror, joy, and most importantly, imagination. Thank you to our special guests once again. Please make sure you are keeping up with them on their pages at Bibbidi Bobbidi Broke and Jeremy the T. That's all we have for today.
Yeah, and please subscribe to us anywhere you get your podcast. Leave us a comment telling us if you think we hit the mark or missed on this one, and give us the highest star rating, and follow us at Peeps Pod on all socials. Until next time, court is adjourned on this journey into imagination. Bye for now.
Bye.